Hi, this is Dina for Splitcoaststampers. In today's video, I'll share how to make this tent card with a clear front. For a horizontal card, I'll start with a half sheet of cardstock, and I'm going to score it from the long side at 1 3/4, 6 inches, 7 inches, and 8 inches. I'm going to work with that 1 3/4 inch section first, and that is going to be at the top of my card. I want a decorative edge on this, and I wanted to show how you can use a larger shape die on an edge if that's what you want to do. Otherwise, you can use a regular border die and that's fine. I put the card through the die opening, so I only have the cutting edge on my card where I want it to cut, and the rest of the die is underneath. And then I'll tape that in place and run it through my die cutting machine. My die is on the back side of the cardstock, by the way, which is the side where I made my score lines. I also want to stamp a sentiment in that section of the card, and that section is going to fold over the top of the card when it's put together. So when you're setting up your positioner, this is the way that you'll orient your stamp, at the bottom on the back side of the card base. The next step is to add a background panel to the inside of your card, and I had a pile of offcuts next to my trimmer that was a little bit out of control, so I just picked out some fresh and fun colors to make a couple of background panels from those. I have some label paper that I use for backgrounds, and I will link to that on my blog. I just pull the liner off, and I have full adhesive coverage here to line up and stick down all my strips of paper. And these are my favorite backgrounds to make. They are super easy and so much fun. I trimmed off the excess with my guillotine cutter, so I have a panel here that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And you can use those measurements for any kind of background you want to use inside your card. Notice here that I flipped my card base over from the stamped side, so the stamped side is down, and I'm adhering the background to the inside of my card. The next thing I'm going to do is add some double-sided tape to the inside of the top flap. And also to the little 1/2 inch section at the bottom of the card. I have a 1/4 sheet of clear plastic here, and this is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I order my plastic sheets from a bookbinding supplier, and I will have that link on my blog as well. I use the 20 mil weight, and it's very stiff and sturdy. It's the same plastic that I use for storing my unmounted stamps. I'm going to line up the edge of that panel with the score line and fold my top flap right down on it so the adhesive sticks down, and then I'll burnish the tape from the inside, and it doesn't matter that we can see that because this will be on the inside of the card. Next, I'm going to do a little accordion fold at the bottom of the card. The first fold goes up and in toward the card, then out, and then in again, and I have a 1/2 inch flap at the bottom that will hold the other end of my plastic in place. Before I remove the tape liner, I want to make sure that the plastic sheet will lay down flat into that front fold. If it's a little bit long there, it will bow up, and I don't want that. So you may need to trim off up to 1/8 of an inch depending on the thickness of your cardstock base. Looks like mine is fitting fine, so I can remove the liner and tuck in the plastic and then just press down to tape everything in place. So this is the basic structure of the tent card, and this will stand up nicely for display and also fold flat for mailing. I've got a couple of die cuts to adhere onto the front, and I'm using a dry adhesive sheet, which is awesome for these detailed dies. You just lay your die cut onto the sheet and burnish, and all those little dots of adhesive will transfer onto the back side of your piece. Then you stick it down and rub away any excess that's on the edges, and that's it. It works really well, and I'll link that up on my blog as well. So here's the finished card, and I've listed all my supplies with the photo tutorial over at the Splitcoaststampers site. To make a vertical card, you will start with a base that is 4 1/4 by 9 3/4, and you'll score at 1 3/4, and then at 7 1/4, 8 1/4, and 9 1/4. And the process from there on is pretty much the same. You'll die cut the edge, and I used a cloud border die on this one. Stamp if you like on that top flap, put in a background, add your adhesive to the top and bottom flaps, Tuck in your plastic. And here you can see that my sheet was a little too long, so I did cut off about 1/8 of an inch. I added my die cuts to the front in the same way, added a ribbon and a sentiment, and here's my card all finished up. These are both A2 cards, but you can make any size card by determining your front size and then adding 4 1/4 inches for the top and bottom flaps. It's really easy to adjust. Thank you so much for watching.